What's up? What's up? We live once again. I'm hoping everything's coming through clearly. If you're joining us live, let me know if you can actually hear me, if you can see me. Yeah, and we had an awesome stream yesterday. I'm excited to keep them going. And what I was thinking we could do today is just talk a little bit more about the process and then dive in to actually do one of the phases a little bit more slowly and explore it and have some fun together and even collaborate, answer some questions, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna take a little swig of this joy. What's it called? Joy burst. It's joy in a can. Nice. Right on, right on. So, what I wanted to do yesterday, we talked about kind of the workflow wizardry system and creative process, and kind of did a lot of talking around how to approach the different phases and building something that's flexible enough and intuitive enough for you to like change over time and make it fit towards your thing, right? You don't want it to be too rigid. And what I thought we could do today is talk about the first of the 7 phases. So if you haven't checked out the PDF, definitely check it out in the link. It has all 7 phases with like descriptions of each of them. But let's talk about clarify. So let's say we're starting from scratch and we know that we want to make a song. However, we have limitless possibilities, and I'm sure most of you have faced this or experienced this before, where you show up to your DAW, a blank DAW, and you just don't know what to do because there's too many options, there's too many things going on. So in this phase, we kind of like hold back and focus on setting creative boundaries or establishing a vision, gaining some clarity on what we want to do. If you already have ideas that you want to work on, if there's something in the works, that's a great place to start. But if you have like some goals with your music or a kind of style you want to work towards, or even if you have a specific intention to practice something or experiment or explore, we can just outline that intention and then set it up, set ourselves up for success with whatever that is. Right? So this allows kind of like avoiding rabbit holes, feeling overwhelmed, analysis paralysis, or if you get a lot of tiny musical ideas done, but you get stuck at some point in the process, you don't know where to go. This is going to help with that because we're setting things up ahead of time so that we have many options to continue to iterate ideas and grow when we hit a wall. And psychologically, we're looking to break down this problem into parts that we can work with in preparation and approaching music using this way to like use our creativity to break down the problem ahead of time so we don't get overwhelmed, right? Because that option paralysis is something that happens often. So in this phase, we aim to like determine, check, and design our instruments, set up our band, right? And then we decide on what creative constraints we want to put on the outset if we want to, and limiting those possibilities, right? Because there's a quote out there that's like, freedom is only achieved through limitations. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but it's like not having any limitations to work through is actually overwhelming, right? But when we have limitations, then we can find creative freedom within those boundaries because we've set those bounds. So I don't know if you guys have had experience with setting limitations for yourself, but it can be very, very useful. All right, so with that said, let's hop over to, I got a bunch of cameras set up and we're gonna have some fun. Let's go over to the system thing. So which one is it? Screen. There you go. Yeah, if you want to grab a copy of this thing, it's totally free. Just follow along and build it yourself as we go along. So yesterday we made this pyrodyne buffer glitch thing that we're gonna listen to at another time. But for now, let's just open up a new card. I'm gonna call it Aljoy Down Tempo Guitar, because that's the intention I have for what I personally want to work on, is developing like a template, a setup, a way that I can interact with multiple instruments that's aimed towards building the genre that I have envisioned. And what that is like I want to be able to perform with Ableton with my guitar in hand. So using a pedal that I'm still waiting for to come, by the way, maybe some push 2 stuff, and really getting like a vibe going, like down tempo, jammy, psychedelic, side dub, that kind of stuff, but with guitar influenced, live on the spot, live looping, all that kind of stuff. So that's the goal, and it's gonna take a while to get there, but that's basically what I want to iterate on today, is like how to build a template for that. And you might have some other goals. Like maybe you don't play guitar, maybe you're doing different genre of music, but most likely there will be some core pillars, those key elements again, which we'll get into in a sec, to set up a template so that you can play the band, right? You set up your band so you can then play it, and don't worry, you can always add more stuff later. But for now, we're just working on building something to then launch upon, right? Launch from, a foundation to launch from, right? So if we open up this card, and hopefully this actually loads. It took a while yesterday. And there you go, boom. So why this project? Like if we want to get really granular with it, we can get super nerdy and type this stuff up. Sure. Alex's new genre with Ableton, exploration. Okay, that's my, if I could spell, explore. There we go. That's the vibe. And I want to build a template to jam guitar with Ableton, right? I don't always do this stuff, but if you want to like have an intention, be like, yo, like I need to practice my drums. Like I need to practice my rhythm. If whatever it is, like if there's a certain thing, if you're like, I want to practice sound designing this specific thing and using this effect and this new plugin I have, great, put it in there. And you'll remember to like have that as a huge part of the compass of what you're doing, right? Because alongside making music and finishing projects, you want to be developing and practicing skills that you want to develop in the process, and getting intentional about it up front will help you remember that stuff. So let's open Clarify. Boom. So visualize and affirm the music that we want to make. So I'm actually going to type this down here. Boom. And yeah, like I said, guitar, looping, live jamming, improv. I really have been enjoying down tempo music, down tempo type grooves, which is usually at like, I don't know, 80 to 100 BPM. And I like that because it's slow and you can get some funky accents in a slow tempo, right? At a faster tempo, you have less space to work with. And I like that as well. But with this, you can go like, if you have like a slow groove, and we'll look at this later, you can like add a lot of funky accents, and you can also double time it with like drum and bass. So I've been into that. And I also really like Eastern instruments. And I got some stuff with native instruments a while back that I haven't really explored. So I definitely want to look at that. So that's native NI instruments. I'm just putting this here so I don't forget. NI stuff. Cool. And yeah, like basically that's the vision for me. Like that's all I need is like, yeah, slow grooves, improv, guitar, right? Guitar, voice leading, jazzy progressions. Even though I'm terrible at improvising over jazz chords, but we'll do it anyway. Cool. So there you go. Determine the required instrumentations. Now let's move over to the DAW and we can have some fun with this as we build this out. Okay, so we want those 4 elements, right? And we talked about that last time. And basically, I got something loaded here. So here's a piano, and make sure that you can hear this. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Let me know. Right on, sounding good. And I'm going to get some guitar sounds going. So for all you guitarists out there, I actually have a setup where I'm recording this amp through what is called a capture card. Okay, so a lot of us don't have the location or the place to be able to crank an amp full blast and mic it, although that can be fun if you have the room and you have the space. But if you don't, then if you have an awesome amp, it can be disheartening to not be able to record it and have it be cranked and have the tone come from the amp, right? There's a lot of great plugins, but if you have an amp, you might as well be using it. So what I'm using is this, what's called a capture card, and it's 2 notes, what's it called? Torpedo Live. There you go. And basically what it does is it acts like a cabinet. So it creates enough resistance so that the amp can be cranked and it's not going to blow up. Because if you turn on an amp and you don't have any cab connected, it's going to start destroying itself. So you need a load to take the power that's coming from the amp. So that's what that does. It acts like a cab in that way, but then it has virtual cabs. So you have all these different cabs and mic positions, and it really does sound great. And the great thing about it is that we could capture an amp floored volume-wise and still record it into this thing relatively quietly. So that's kind of what I got set up here. And I also have my Line 6 Helix, which is basically just a digital pedal board with all sorts of stuff. So we have some sounds already ready, and I'm probably going to iterate on this some more as we move along. Okay, so let's grab a guitar, and this will probably be the Dynamics. Let's put it red. All right, I like doing that. Rename it Guitar. Sweet. Cool, let's grab this thing. And let's change views. I have another, oh, there you go. So I need a pick. Fun fact, I actually, like everywhere I go, girlfriend's house, in my car, friend's house, party, I leave picks everywhere I go. Like that's just how you know that I've been somewhere, is there's picks laying around. So the first thing with guitar, or any instrument for that matter, so I know that some of us maybe don't play instruments, or we do everything in the box with MIDI controllers, which is great. However, if ever you do want to get into using external hardware or external synth, modular, if you're a pianist and you have a piano, or if you want to record guitar, acoustic guitar, vocals, anything that's from the analog physical world that you want to bring into the DAW, we want to think about the quality of what we're recording. And again, when you're just demoing things and you're just experimenting and you're demoing parts, you don't necessarily have to worry about getting the quality of the sound super high fidelity right now if those parts might not even make it. So you can always like retrack things later, but I figured I'd mention this now. So with, let me throw this on. So with guitars and any kind of stringed instruments, even pianos, any instrument, you want to make sure that everything is in tune. Okay, so I have a tuner over here. I'm going to turn down the volume, and I'm just going to make sure that these are all in tune. Or better yet, let's throw a tuner, because this tuner's been glitching out lately. Let's see. There we go. There's the A. I might just use the Ableton tuner here, because my tuner's breaking, man. Cool. So let's destroy all these things for now. Delete, delete, delete. And yeah, audio effects, utilities, tuner. So this is super important, okay? Because if you're tracking things, if you have a guitar that doesn't stay in tune or the intonation is off, right? Like if you hit a note up here and the tuning is off, it's going to be extremely hard to hear past that as you start coming up with ideas. Or for example, if you're recording like a piano and it's out of tune, it's just not going to work with everything else you're doing. And it can be very frustrating. So again, we want to make sure there's relatively new strings, that the intonation is right, the tuning is there when we're thinking about recording. If you're just messing around recording ideas for demo, it's all good. But I figured, again, might as well talk about it. So let's turn up the volume. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Because I sure can't. Funny, I checked the monitoring side before doing this and it was working fine. And now, oh, there we go. Got to bring up the gain. So real talk, like even like 10 years into doing this, sometimes I'll be like, oh, what's going on with the signal chain? I can't figure it out. Oh, my guitar's not plugged in. All right, so there's my clean guitar sound. It's in tune, sounds great, right? Nice. And then already I have, let me go back here. All right, already with this pedal board, as you can see over here, I have different tones. So here's kind of the idea behind designing instruments, okay, is that you want to have as many different sounds as you want to access easily, right? So like playing guitar, you can play clean stuff. Right, I can play clean, I can change pickups, right, all sorts of stuff, but I can also change tones. So right, we got a more rock tone. Got more distortion. Then we have like a lead tone. And I have like all of these effects, right? We got delay, short delay, we got a phaser, reverb, got a low octave, which I love using, got a wah. Right, and yeah, that's the kind of big idea behind it, is like I've already designed this kind of instrument, right? I can get all of those sounds just with this guitar, pedal board, going into one channel. All right, so that's kind of the guitar for now. And again, like I'm probably gonna wanna have more crazy delays. So if I go down here, I can actually change the delay to be more audible. Right, and one cool thing I've got set up here is like if I press play here, I have this hilarious clip I recorded, but like let's play this with the metronome, so we have that timing, and the delay of my guitar will be synced up to this clock. Right, I might want it a little faster. Right, so let's stop that. Got the phaser, the reverb. I might yeah, just stick with that for now, right? Let's keep moving forward. So we got a bunch of tones to work with now, so I'm just gonna put down the guitar as we set up a few other elements here. Let's go back to the screen. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we got a guitar sound, yay. So what I was thinking is, let's go back over here, remind myself, live jabbing, live looping. I don't really have a looper set up for the guitar. I'm kind of waiting for a pedal to come in, but we might throw that in later. But I can just use clips as loops in Ableton. So down tempo, jamming, Eastern instruments. All right, so let's do that for melody stuff and maybe some chords. So plugins. Where is this? Native instruments, complete control. Let's bring it up. All right, and I have I got this thing called the Eastern collection a while ago, and I love so many of the things in here. It's like sampled all sorts of instruments. So let's go with character acoustic and sequence looped. Interesting. Well, let's just see what they have here. So I'm just going to make this bigger so you guys can see, even if that's possible. Come on, Native Instruments. I want a bigger window. Okay, whatever. Eastern strings. Let's load one of these up. What is this called? A gidamba. So this is drum instrument, which could be cool, but I'm kind of looking for like an actual melodic instrument, which there's so many here. Sub flute. That's pretty sick. I do dig this. Cool. Okay, let's play around with that. And what I'm going to do right away is going to configure some of these macros. So we talked about this the other live stream, and I just want to have more hands-on control, similar to the guitar. When I have the guitar, I have pickups, I got different tones, I got all those pedals, right? I got a bunch of stuff I can access with that one instrument. I want to do the same type of thing here. So let's look at what we got here. Got a filter. For sure. Let's continue to look, because I'm just going to look for the macros I want. The attack, for sure. Release. Let's see how that sounds like. Cool. I think I want to play with the release for sure. Let's turn it down a little bit so it actually stops. Let's listen to the rotator. Yes, please. Give me that rotator. Boom. There's the warmth control. This one I'm just going to leave. Let's listen to the reverb. Yes, I'm definitely going to throw that on there. Okay. And then let's see what we got here. I wonder if there's any more macros we can check out. Whoa. Can change these. Turn this on and off. Interesting. Can toggle these. Let's throw those on there. Toggle. Oh, you can't toggle that. Okay, that's okay. Oh, there's a random button. Let's see if we can configure that. No. Okay, so we just changed everything. So I'm just going to reload the first one we had, because I did like that one. All right, cool. So we have now these macros. If you look at my hands now, so these macros for this instrument are right here, right? So I can control the filter. Right, can control this stuff right there, which is part of what we want. So I'm just going to close this down for now. So now we have some macros, and we could add some more effects to this if we wanted to as well. So maybe we want a delay, right? I'm really into delays and repetition. So let's check this out. Let's go to, I really like echo. All right, and clean delay. And I usually go for like the most hilarious things. Simple, long digi delay. All right, let's check it out. Okay, so that's a fun control to have. I kind of like syncing these up. Sync them. Right, maybe you want ping pong. Goes left to right. Maybe you want the feedback control. Okay, so I'm going to group these now. All right, boom, pull this up. Map this to 1, this to 2, this to 3, this to 4, this to 5, then the delay, dry, wet. So how much delay is on. So now here we have some delay and I can turn it all the way off. Okay, so let's turn it back on. Let's do the delay time, and these are synced, so if we move these, it'll move both of them. So let's map this to 7. Always a fun control. And feedback. Let's do that for 8. Okay, so now we have like something like a pedal board set up, right, for this instrument. So if I'm on the instrument rack, I have all of these macros. So we got the filter, got the attack, so I can make it very small attack or very hard. Release, I can make these notes super short, right? Or I can make them super long, which is awesome. I have this rotator for some vibration. Got the reverb if we want extra density, right? And then we also have the dry wet of the delay. So let's say we want a ton, right? We're only hearing the delay. Maybe we want it 50. Sweet. We can change the division. Go back to a quarter note, and then we can do the feedback, which is the thing that I like the most. Right, we're getting some interesting stuff there, right? For sure. So there you go. I'm going to call this melody. Rename. Melody. Okay, so now we got the guitar, which will be the dynamic thing, and the melody, which I like to have white. Yeah, so now we have a couple instruments, right? So the next thing, let's move over to drums. And I have a drum kit in mind. Actually, I kind of want to fuse this drum kit with a few other elements that we can design together. So the thing I'm thinking about is this kit over here, the cycle rack. This thing's awesome. So let's go with volume 2. Taking a while to load. There we go. So you'll notice that I loaded that up, and now I have all these pads. And the thing I love about this is it also has an effects rack. So let's bring this on. Right, and we can really play with these macros, right? If we want more pop and sheen, just a crunch. So that's kind of like the live drum kit, and there we go. We already have a bunch of macros, good to go. So I'm gonna make this green, call it rhythm. But I also wanted to play around with some samples, creating our own drum rack with some cool samples. so we can get into a little bit of sound design. There we go. So what I'm going to do for that is to go into drums and take just a drum rack, empty drum rack, put it on a new track. Let's go back to the screen. Boom. So now we have a drum rack, and we can load our own samples, right? So I have, what did I get it? This one. I have all sorts of nature sounds and weird stuff, and that stuff is really prevalent in the genre of music I'm aiming for, right? So let's see if we can like create a drum kit out of this, and maybe also grab some like actual kick and snare from some of these other kits. So let's actually just go to our samples. There you go. That's a nice sounding kick. And let's find a snare. I kind of like this hip hop snare. And I kind of want a little shorter one. Right, so you can get some cool accents in there. Cool variations just with that. And maybe let's add in a hi-hat. That could be cool. Let's throw that in there. It's a nice open hi-hat and then a closed one. Go with that one. There we go. Sweet, we got some sounds. And then for this one, simpler, let's open this up. I kind of want to warp this so that it's the same. Divide it in two. Right, so it matches the tempo we're in, right? So we play the twos. Right, we kind of match the tempo. So that's a cool little tip. Make sure that your samples like line up with what you're doing. Unless you don't want it to line up, then it's totally cool. So let's go back to this. Let's find some weird sounds, man. Birds. What kind of animals we feeling? So that's interesting to me. So I'm going to grab this. And let's actually edit this a little bit, okay? So I'm going to grab this. So I hear a really interesting rhythm in the sample. Let's do a little fade out. decrease the volume. And let's go to classic mode. Play with the warp modes. Pitch envelope. Let's see here. And filter out some of the high-end stuff. Right? So there's some weird stuff going on there. I might take off the loop, because I can loop this myself. I might turn down the volume a tiny bit. Cool, let's find some more weird nature sounds. Cool, let's find something in there. Cool. Cool. Just building a kit. Another cool thing you can do with a lot of this stuff is, as you're designing instruments, you want to make sure that they're playable, right? So if you hit this pad differently, it gives you a different sound. Right? Those kinds of things. There's a low tom kind of thing. Might be a bit much. There you go. Oh, there's some cool alternative snare sounds. Right, we're starting to get some vibes. I'm gonna throw this on there. This sample is so quiet. Oh, it's because it's muted. How did that happen? Oh! Cool. Let's keep looking. Shakers. Throw that. Oh. I went to the wrong octaves. There we go. Turn down the volume of that. It's a little loud. There we go. Processed effects. Oh boy. Let's go for insects. I dig it. It's definitely the vibe I'm going for. Gotta love percussive things that are also tones. Cool. All right, we got a trippy kit. Kind of more percussive stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna call this perk yellow. Move it beside rhythm. And now we're just missing some bass. All right, so last time I used a bass plugin that took way too many CPU resources and it like lagged the whole thing. So I might take advantage to try and do something simple. All right, so maybe we can create our own bass instrument. So let's go samples. Maybe I'll go to my packs here. And there's probably some samples in here. Drums, one shots, noise, maybe not. Beat tools, break beats, build and drop, samples. I might have to just search bass, creative tools. There's so much stuff in here, it's crazy. Samples, sustained encounters. Pretty low. All right, let's have some fun with that. So we can create a new MIDI track. Add track, boom, MIDI, default, load it. And we want this to go into a simpler, which if you just click and drag audio thing onto a MIDI track, fun fact, gives you a simpler. Yeah. And anyone joining us live, let me know if this is actually clear, if you can hear me. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them. Any suggestions as we create this palette of sounds? So that's super cool. I love this sample. And I'm probably just going to grab this first part of it. So the first thing when you're doing this is you definitely have to make sure that it plays the notes that you think it's playing, right? So if we grab an audio effect, utility, tuner. All right, we might have to tune this so that it actually makes sense, right? So when I hold C, it's giving me E flat. So what I have to do is go into the controls, detune this until we get to the right thing. So it's actually hitting a note, but we need C. Right, that's pretty close. Let's go back to sample. I might start it when it hits a pitch here. Right, that's a really cool sound. Again, detune it so it hits that C. There we go. Volume, kick it up a bit. Let's do filter. Some res. Cool. All right, so it's in tune. We can get rid of this now. And one thing that's really cool, let's actually group this into a group so we get those macros, right? Super important for this stuff. Macro variations, that's a whole other cool thing. But what we can do is we can map some of this stuff to macros and like change it over time. So one cool thing, if I can remember how to do it, snap marker, is sometimes you can move. Here we go. No, the loop. Position. Complex, forward. Give it some movement here. I'm trying to see if I can map the loop selection to automate. So let's see if we can find this. Attack, release, MPE, no. Slice, trigger gate transients. That could be cool too, but I kind of want an instrument here. So that's really cool. Snap marker. I don't remember how to do this. There's some really cool things you can do by changing the start and the start and selection while it's looping, but it might have to be a faster thing. So maybe I'll duplicate this. So let's change this to blue, rename it to bass. Move it here. Cool. And I'm just going to duplicate this whole track because I want to try this idea without ruining that other sound. Because I do like this bass sound. It's pretty dope. Could be a cool, weird, trancey, hypnotic thing. Cool. But for this copy, so this one, I kind of want to experiment with shortening this and looping it. Okay, and this is where we can get real trippy, where you can make anything else. Let's loop it faster until it becomes a pitch. Again, I'm gonna grab this utility. Tuner, sorry. And we can like change the pitch. So close. Might have to get in there a little bit more granular. I can't tell if that's C. There we go. Okay, so now we have a pitch. That's extremely important if you want to make a musical instrument. And I think there's a way that we can map some of this stuff or change the loop position. So if we, nope. You're going to do that. There's got to be a way. Maybe I'm missing something. Chain. No, key, velocity, hide. Might not be able to figure this out. What I'm trying to do is move the positioning of this thing in real time. The selection. Maybe if we loop it. That's nice. So this bass instrument turned into some kind of pad. So I'm just going to rename this pad. And let's make it purple. Move it over here. So now we have like, that's the same sound as the bass, but we just really mangled it and changed it up. Right, but that's nice. What we can also do is add effects, right? So maybe we want a MIDI effect. Let's play around with that. So, arpeggiator. We just want a normal one. Maybe it's cutting it too short. Oh. Maybe not. Scratch that idea. Chord. Jazz for dummies. Yeah, please. expression control. I wonder if there's like a effect rack, audio effect rack that would have MIDI instruments in it. Maybe we can make one. MIDI monitor. Right, so let's say macro variations. And we put all these to macros. Let's try and do that. So these are all grouped. Let's put each of these to its own thing. Shift 1, Shift 2. So this is a really like hilarious way to make a chord progression. But okay, so this is macro variation 1. Oh, sorry. New variation. Chord 1. So now with that variation, it's that chord. But now let's change some of this. I think these are the same plugins. Major 7 chord. Fourth chord. Let's just play with it. Some dissonance. Okay, so let's say we like that chord. New. Rename this chord 2. So now we have chord 1, goes back here. Chord 2. Chord 1. And we bring this back to the Jazz for Dummies one. So I did like this one. Chord 1. Chord 2. Cool. Let's find another one. Ooh, that's dark. Right, okay, so let's try this. So chord 1. Chord 3, sorry. Chord 1. Okay, cool. We got 3 weird chord pad things. Alright, so now we have, let's review what we got, okay? So we got our drum kit. Sick, we got some macros. Okay, got a bass. Go lower octave. Kind of a weird bass. More of a long suspended bass sound, cool. Got these weird percussive sounds. Got this weird melodic instrument. Nice. We got the guitar and we got this weird jazz chord pad thing. Okay, so that's like, what time is it? 2. We've been doing this for an hour. So now let's just start jamming some stuff, okay? And I'm gonna pay special attention to try and not use the mouse and see where it goes, okay? We could go farther with this. Like we could really set up a crazy template and map some macros to everything. But actually what we'll do is, well, I thought about it, is we'll add some master performance macros, okay? So I'll grab plugins, Sugar Bytes, Tornado. This is a great plugin if you don't got it. Again, you don't need this. Ableton has a bunch of stuff built in. But what we can do here is configure these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can now control those. And let's group this into its own thing. And then I'm going to set those to these 8 things. If I go to my hands, these 8 things on the APC40 to control on the master bus. Okay, so I got to map this to 1, this to 2, this to 3, so on and so forth. Again, next time we could open this up and we can continue to work from this, so we don't have to set it up every time, or we can do something new. Again, keeping it flexible for what we want to be doing. So I'm going to go to device lock onto this audio effect rack with this. So now these 8 are controlling Tornado. So let me show you the screen again. So if I open up Tornado here, these 8 knobs I have are mapped to this and they're on the master track. Okay. And I'm just going to hit random and just listen to, I'm just going to loop 1 tone. That's cool. That's cool. That's kind of, let's swap this one up for something else. Maybe pattern delay, that sounds cool. And then there's different variations of all these effects, so maybe we don't like that one. Fine, don't let me change it, man. Let's go reverse delay. That sounds sick. Let's put something else. Let's put a phaser. Always love phasers. Nice. Let's find the bottom 8. Let's go with reactor. Another filter pattern. So I'm just basically testing out these effects so that we can find stuff that we like. Maybe a looper. That would be cool if you could like loop stuff and then play over it. Can I play something over this? No, it's on the whole master thing. That would be a cool thing for on a specific thing. So maybe I'll do that while I have the idea. So I'm going to grab this, copy the whole thing, paste it in. What was this? Yeah, it'd be cool to be able to loop this. So I'm just going to paste it here. All right, all this crazy stuff. I think it's grouped into this big group. At least I want it to be. Simple long delay. Yeah, let's put it there. And No, that's not what I want. I'm trying to get the looper of this thing in this macro, but these macros are full. I guess I could add a couple more. Let's try that. Do. And then we want this to be in the oh, we already pasted it. Okay. And the looper was 6 on this. So I just want to map this to 9. So now, if we go to this, we have a 9th macro, which I don't know how to access the 9th macro here. Where did all the stuff go? There we go. 6 to 9. Control 6. There we go. Okay, looper. Getting confused there. Looper and maybe I'll just won't play with the delay time, so I'm going to unmap the delay time. Or can I delete it here? Remove mapping. Okay, and we're going to remove mapping here. Then I move this 6 to 7, and then I have it here. All right, great. So all that mini tangent was for the looper to be on the melodic instrument, and that's all I'm going to use it for. So if we put the looper, we can create loops and shut it off. Right, so maybe we want, oh, I got to do it before. Okay, got it. Cool. All right, can have some fun with that. Let's continue on the master, then start jamming some stuff. Boom. All right, let's open it up. So 6, the looper will pass on that. Let's go with a reverb. And let's play it here. That's cool. Maybe a different freeze verb here. Levelizer. That's cool. And whatever. Sure. Cool. All right, so we got some macros on the hands, right? So we got these 8 things, and regardless of what I'm playing, so even if I'm playing a drum kit, right? We can play around with those things. All right, so I actually like the idea of this starting it out. So let's play this. I might slow the tempo down a bit. All right, so we're gonna do something fun where I'm going to record both in session view and arrangement view, which is crazy. But if you hit session, record. Oop. Let me just do this and then undo it. So if you record to arrangement view, excuse me, you can also be recording to session view, which makes it so you can jam live on the spot. You can do all sorts of automation and whatever, and it'll all be baked in. So let's try that. And I'm just going to test it first. So I'm going to hit record to arrangement. So we're recording to arrangement. I'm going to start a loop here. 2, 3. So now we're looping here. And I don't know why we're not hearing this loop. There we go. So now we're recording the loop that's playing in session in arrangement. All right, so let's try that again. Now we know it works. Start the beginning, tab. I'm gonna have fixed length on, and let's go with 4 bars, sure. And let's try it again. All right, so let's record 2, 3, 4. Okay. So one fun fact with the push to is that, the APC 40, which is kind of annoying, is that whenever you record a clip here, the fixed length doesn't apply. You have to record it from here for the fixed length to apply. So let's try that again. Let's hit record and make sure that's enabled. I want this to loop. A little glitch, but okay, good enough. I hope it doesn't glitch over. I can actually change the length of this. There we go. Turn off that. Let's loop that. Turn off the metronome. Let's loop this extra layer here. Make sure MIDI or range overdub button is on. I don't know if I can do this. We're breaking Ableton, everybody. I want to add the kick to this. All right, we'll do a new layer. Quantize it. All right, let's just see how one of these sounds. That's sick. Let's record that in. 4. What we got here? Let's get this melodic instrument. Sick. Let's record that in. Simple melody. 3, 4. Stop it. Let's add some delay. Make sure it doesn't get too crazy. What about the guitar? Shift this there. Oh boy. How much can the computer handle? Alright. Let's see if this works. Like that for a riff. Let's try to loop that in. See if this actually works. 3, 4, let's do the riff. Not perfect, but it's all good. So let's try to start jamming new ideas. Clip. We'll change the length of this loop. No idea what that high pitching is. Probably destroying your ears. What is that? All right, we're gonna stop here. So it might be the guitar track. Oh, it's this thing looping itself forever. So let's stop that. Apologies. Device. Cool, we got a new scene here. So with that said, we got something here now, all right? There's probably a ton of mistakes in here, but I have a track I can listen to, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and loop this, and we can export this and give her a name. Give her a name. And again, I'm not concerned about the details. I'm not too worried about the mistakes because I was in the moment jamming, did something, and I'm gonna have opinion about it later again, right? So I'm just gonna export this. What is this going to be called? First thing that I see is Quadrivium. Desktop. Boom. All right, I'm just going to save and export that for now. Go back to a camera that hopefully isn't lagging. That phone camera was lagging, eh? It's all good. We're testing these things out, and I'm putting a lot on my computer for all of these cameras to be feeding in this thing and like recording live and all this stuff. So far so good. So yeah, it's just bouncing out. And then what I was thinking we can do is just check out the clips we have, because the clips will be different than the arrangement, and just see if we can get a quick little some ideas and go from there. Grab that guitar back, do some noodles. So yeah, this ended up being in C Dorian. Gotta watch that open string though. One of my favorite modes, for sure. Cool to do what's called modular interchange. Big ass fancy word for changing modes. So if you're in Dorian, it's a minor mode, so it has that minor third, right? But still minor like resolution. But there's also the like normal minor mode, which is has this more dissonant. So they're both minor modes, and they just have one different note actually. So if you are intentional about where you place your notes, you can actually accentuate the quality that makes that mode unique. Yeah. I stole it. So yeah, this thing is a headless guitar, which I feel divides people. But yeah, this is actually my newest guitar, and it's my new number one. A couple advantages of a no headstock is that when you're wearing it and you're jamming, there's not as much weight up here, so it's less pressure on your shoulder. So that's one thing. But other than that, yeah, and the tuning is down here. It seems to stay in tune quite well. But I got normal guitars too. What kind of guitar do you have at EVA? Yeah, this thing I splurged for it. The Sun finish. Check it out. And it's got fan frets. Okay, so the frets start straight, and then they kind of curve normally with your hand as you go up, which is super ergonomic. It's light as a feather. And yeah, it's got, I don't know if you can see this. It's got a rib on the back. Maybe if I do it like this. So it's got like, yeah, there you go. It's got this rib right here. So that's where your thumb goes at the back of the neck. And as you're moving up the neck, so right up here, it's almost like holding like a Les Paul, like a thicker neck, chunky at the end. But as you move up, your thumb follows this rib as it goes up. And when you're up here, your thumb is so much closer to the middle of the neck, which is better for like shreddy, Freddy, McDeluxe, right? You have a PRS SE24. Nice. I also have a PRS. And a Taylor. Oh my God. Yeah. Taylor. That's a beautiful. That's an acoustic, right? Yeah, let me show you that SE real quick as this. I'm like overloading my computer. Asking it to do too much. A more normal looking guitar. Yeah, that is a strange looking instrument for sure, but it matches me. I'm a little strange. Here's the SE. This looks similar to yours. It's got the zebra finish. The thing I love about this is that whammy. This actually plays just as good as the Strandbird for sure. We can play this one for a bit. I just got to get it close to here. Too many guitars, man. Too many guitars. I'll show you this other one. This is turning into a guitar show and tell. Do you ever venture into the metal? This is a 7-string. For back in the day, the heavy chonks. And it's a whole other thing when you have 7 strings. Yours is black like your heart. Nice. Why is black your favorite color? Because it reminds me of my heart. That's awesome. Yeah, I love the PRS. I love the whammy, and it's got some cool tones. The Strandbird has like that really crazy Stratocaster snappy single coil. It's got a couple of those for like the super modern stuff that cuts through, but the pickups in the PRS straight up, like, I was impressed. Oh yeah, that 7-string back in the day too, eh? Yeah, good times. Did you play it like metal with it, or just like experimented with the extra low string? I usually keep it tuned to like an extra low A. So you have the normal 6-string, like in standard tuning, and then you also have like your drop D, except it's drop A, if that makes sense. So you have both like a drop tuning and a standard tuning. That's super fun. All right, so this thing looks like it's done exporting. We got some stuff in Ableton. Let's tune up the PRS though. I haven't played this one in a while, to be honest. Add some more guitar layers. Oh. Boom. All right. Tune up your guitars, kids. That's something I learned going to school for audio engineering and mixing and everything, is like when recording bands and other artists and guitars and drum kits and bass guitars and all that stuff, is like whenever you're tracking the final stuff for your record, or if you're, you know, recording yourself, producing yourself, you have to make sure your stuff's like intonated properly and in tune between takes. Like it's so annoying, but it makes all the difference to be able to do that. So I don't know why my tuner's like deciding to not be cool lately. Let's try it again. There we go. Nope, it's still acting like a good old piece of crap. It might be time for a new polytune. That one doesn't even work. Oh yeah, love the metal. Me too. I mean, I don't listen to it quite as much these days, but like I was so into it. I'm gonna have to use a tuner in Ableton actually with a screen. What kind of metal bands were you into? My favorite, like my first, like obviously I got into, I think, Metallica and Megadeth first because of my friends pushing the cursed music that corrupts your mind. I was into like Black Sabbath, Van Halen, Deep Purple before, but that was like the first metal-ish. Then I got into Lamb of God, and then I went down the rabbit hole. You know, Faceless, Animals as Leaders, Meshuggah, Opeth, Protest the Hero, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna have to tune my guitar in here since my tuner decided to break. Thanks, tuner. Right, we got this crazy effect on. Let's turn that on. Turn that off. There's the E. Pretty good. Oddly, this guitar likes to go sharp. Sick, sounds sick. Let's get some a little bit of juice. Haven't played this one in a while, yikes. Gotta love that G string. Nice. Cool. Love the whammy, man. So let's check out what we got here. Am I still on the hands or the screen? There we go, we're on the screen. Cool. Yeah, so let's see what we got. Maybe we add in a guitar layer right away. maybe we do something like that. Sounds pretty wild. Let's do it. Let's add some delay though. Something like could do that and then go up to the higher octave one. So like to sure. Let's try it. So I just want to make sure that we're not recording over our arrangement. Doesn't really matter because it wasn't that great anyway. Okay, so let's do it. I need more hands. Totally to my bow 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 bow. That's the timing. I'm gonna need that metronome. Balls. I got it once. Okay. Dude, I got an idea. Let's put them on top of each other. I'm gonna do that other layer on top of this one. So the higher one. Something like that. Let's try it. Record enable. Sounds pretty wild. Great job suggesting the PRS, Olivier. Hell yeah. So I'm hearing like, yeah, let's duplicate this whole scene. Cool. And then we have this. Throw in the kick. Actually, maybe just a simple kick from this. Yeah, something like that. Getting super tribal. Yeah, something like that. Okay, wait. Can't hear it, man. have to put accent on. And turn everything else down, I guess. I run into that trap a lot where I just turn everything up like crazy. Let's try that again. 2. Just loop the first. Let's quantize it. Yeah, second layer can come when the kick comes in. So like, dude. Let's pan these. I feel like this sample though is like cool, but it doesn't fit. It's like triplet groove. Maybe it can fit in at the end. I think we want to shorten this sample and way down here. It's just that. Probably do that. I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it because like it's kind of creating a space. So maybe we duplicate this. So let's I want this weird. That's a cool rhythmic thing. Right here. Could actually probably play it in better. It's so weird, but I love it. Let's tune this. A bar in B flat, then F. Pedaling between B flat on the open G and accents with the high E. Very similar to what you're doing. Nice. Try a bar of B flat, then F. Like chords, you're thinking? That's a good idea. I have this instrument. And maybe without the crazy reverb, the delay. Oh yeah, F major. Yeah, maybe you'll test my music theory skills here. Let me get an instrument, or maybe with guitar chords, but the guitars are kind of taking the lead, right? If I could hear that chord, maybe we take this weird chord thing that we did. Holy whoa, these are like pads. Maybe we mute this for now. All right, and you say F major. Interesting vibe. That could be cool. Flat 7 though, doesn't F major have a major 7? Unless we want like the Mixolydian style F chord. That can have some weirdness. So there's our C, home base. Interesting. I might have to find something that like has just more defined chordness. Gotcha. B flat. Because we're in Dorian, that would be like a major, right? That makes sense. Yeah, vibe with that. Let's just play around with it. These chords are tough to hear with this instrument. I might have to find a different sound. Chords, bro. Chords. Yeah, let's just go with like, feeling like a Rhodes. I've been into Rhodes lately. Yeah. Let's throw this on. Boom. C major with the flat 7. Yeah, the Mixolydian. Let's play around with it. So I'll pop on my hands. Boom. So I got a C. Where are we? This is C major, but we're in Dorian. So the flat 3 and the flat 7. But that could also be the major, right? The major counterpoint to that would be that Mixolydian. That's like. So we're hearing that flat 7 in the Dorian mode for sure, but maybe it'll sound cool with Mixolydian because I'm not sure. We don't really have a defined bass. So here would be C major. And then you're suggesting F. That could be cool. B flat. Back to C maybe. Yeah, I definitely hear that transaction B. That's sick. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let's do this. Gotta love it that when you have like weird macros that are happening throughout your thing, it just gives weird effects. So that sounds like a good C. We could go to there's our C, F. I could hear like, yeah, keeping the root note, because it's like this whole tune's like, like it's the root note, right? So keeping the root note with that, but then accentuating the F in the bass, maybe, if I can get there. Right, then the F down here. Ooh, I love that. Yeah. 5-4-1 progression. Yeah, an F major. I also love those sus chords, the 9s. I like that vibe. Maybe we start C, right? Do a normal C major. That's pretty moody. I don't know if that's too jazzy. Then back to the sus. And then finish on the B flat. I love that's a sick resolution. Let's just play with it. That's cool. Down to the B. C. Let's do this F thing. That's cool. Do the second C chord on the offbeat. B. Cool. Let's play around with that. And I'm just going to turn it up and turn everything else down just so we can hear what we're doing a little clearer. Let's try it. Totally failed at that one. Something about, yeah, that's cool. Timing this on the offbeat. I missed it though. Jump the gun and then this one land right. Yeah. Okay, now that we have the idea, I'm going to record it a little better. So downbeat on the off, downbeat again. And then the offbeat with that C sus. There you go, even higher. I just don't want to muddy up the guitar thing. Okay, so let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Hit the offbeat here. Missed it. Correct this one. Turn it down. Cool, I'm going to duplicate the scene. Let's go back to screen. Duplicate the whole scene, and I'm hearing like a bass coming in now. For sure. I don't even think we need this part anymore. But like a weird pulsing vroom. Sure, let's go with Mookie bass. All right. Yeah, interesting. Could play with accenting interesting stuff on the bass. Let me go over here. Yeah, I'm here. Okay, let's try it. Let's try that out. Something like that. Oh no. Maybe we can move the bass note up. There's your F suggestion. The flat 7, like, I love how it sounds, but maybe an octave higher. Maybe we do that. Oh no. Flat 7 up here. Yeah, that's cool for now, and it's like we got to have the same motif. Bow, meow, now. I can hear that. Let's start here. Meow, meow. Love this bass sound because it has glide, so the notes glide into each other. As long as they overlap. So if you get real nitty gritty here, we can fix all this later. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, it's got a vibe for sure. Cool, turn it down. Get into some epic sidechain compression. So I've been asked this question a zillion times. Pretty straightforward. Dynamics, grab a compressor, smack it on. Oh, okay, so we have a compressor on the Mookie bass, and we're gonna hit this little arrow. Sidechain input from, what is that thing called? Percussion? The kick drum, right? That track, and then you gotta go find the kick short post mixer. And then we should see like on the threshold of this thing, right? The kick drums, so we got it. Let's lower the threshold. So that's how much compression's happening to our thing. Let's just solo this. Right, we want this pretty extreme. crushing this thing. Cool, let's listen to it with the kick now. Cool. Right now, so some movement. Throwing a pad, see how this sounds. All right, well, we got something. I'm gonna call it at 2 hours here, so let's go back to the face. I'm gonna save this. You know, I'm gonna save this project. I'm gonna call it Olivier Super Man. There we go, desktop. Saving this session. Yeah, so kind of got through a little bit of the first phase, flowed, got some ideas out, printed an arrangement. Yeah, and that's kind of like how I would go about it. If I don't have any ideas, and again, like you can like fractalize this whole process as much as you want. So you could make a whole session just clarifying. You could go crazy on setting up a template, and then you could like do another hour and a half session just flowing ideas, do another hour and a half session just arranging a song. Or you could combine them together like we did today. So it's kind of what you want, and you're going to have your own flow of how you do it. But just remember that like you're not hyper concerned with editing stuff at this point, because if we keep this up like every day of the week, in 2 weeks, you're going to have 10 ideas, and then you'll have the 1, 2, or 3 that really stick out on top of that idea. All right. So yeah, well, thank you so much for chilling with me, Olivier, and anyone else who jumped in. And again, if you have any questions that you'd like me to cover, anything specifically you'd like me to go over, anything of that nature, feel free to drop a comment or reach out to me. And yeah, with that said, I'm going to end this stream, and we'll see you on the next one.